Hi, everybody. This is Steve Aul from the Aul Financial Group, welcoming you to the May 7th Town Hall. The month is, well, we'll just put it this way. The year is kind of flying by. The months are going by very quickly. A little bit of ups and downs in the month of April. I'll talk about that more here in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and turn the first portion of our Town Hall today over to Will.
Thank you, Steve. Hello, everyone. Today, let's put the camera right here. Today we're going to talk, or I am going to talk about something related that if you have your own financial advisor, it's a question that you need to ask, right? What is the difference between growth and income? Whenever you are in the doors of retirement, that's what we do here. We're trying to make the difference or put apart income stream and growth, right? Because you gather all these assets for many, many years and they grew, and now it's time for you to take them out, or at least know what type of what pocket to use and be tax efficient to be able to use these assets through your retirement. So ask them, where's the plan? What should we do? What happens if I need money whenever the markets are down? Where are you taking it from? With what pocket? So we're going to talk about the retirement income streams in retirement, right? The first one, like we always talk about, they're always in the news because it may change, it may not, it may disappear, is Social Security, right? Social Security has different type of full retirement ages. You know that you can start at 62. It comes discounted, right? For some of you, full retirement age is 66. For other ones are 67. And if you can delay it, right, until 70, you get way more money. But the question is, should I push it? Should my partner, my wife, my husband, should that start it before, at 62? Should we activate it at the same time? That's the questions that we always have. And I will tell you, each answer is different because each person has their own situation. Your family has their own situation. So make sure that whenever you talk with a trust person, a person that you trust related with your finances, ask that question. When is actually good for you to take Social Security? The other one that we have is dividend paying stocks. This is more about, in one point, I want to get some income. We know that some assets or some stocks, they have growth potential. Other ones have income potential. We call it dividends, right? These company stocks or ETFs are most company established that now they can provide you dividends because they are strong right there as a company through the years, and those provide you dividends. Most of them, a lot of companies, and especially us with Market Guard, we do have a funds that is like the up fund, right? The opportunity fund. There's most 100% stocks, and they provide a specific growth. But also we have the up dividend, opportunity dividend, that concentrates and provide growth, but also dividends. So it's also is good to know, good to ask whenever you're in retirement, are my assets providing dividends? They're providing some income, right? A lot of companies also and asset managers, they use the bond ladders, right? They set up a specific bonds that mature in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and they able to mature. They provide you specific yields. Also, to protect sometimes your money, they move you out of the market and put you in T-bills. A lot of clients, they like to set up T-bills for a specific period of time. Remember, T-bills is short period of time because there's also treasury bonds that actually can loan over years, and you have a specific, and remember, treasury comes from the trust from the government, right? The government provides you that is a vehicle that provides from the government. Annuities, something that a lot, and I will tell you from my experience before in banking and coming from a big corporation, they do not teach us about annuities. The first thing, there's like bad things. So whenever I used to talk to clients, it's like, well, annuities, I heard they're horrible. I don't know anything about it. But you need to be with someone that actually helps you to understand the concept of annuities, because like any tool that you utilize to fix your car, to actually build your house or fix your house, each tool has a specific function. So annuities is the same. There's many type of annuities, and each annuity has a specific concept, a specific, we go from growth, for income streams, for protection. So anytime you cross path with someone that talks about annuity, ask them, what is this annuity is going to fulfill for you? What is this annuity bringing to the table to help you with income or growth or protection? Roth IRA withdrawals, is something that it has to come with financial planning, because again, something that is really powerful that I saw here in Aul Financial is the power of to know where or what pocket to utilize whenever you need money, because there's tax implications. It's the market, or there's different other factors that affects every time you take money out. So every time we have a call, it's like, hey, Steve, I need this amount of money to repair the roof, to fix the house, right? To travel. Where should I take it from? So sometimes, to be able to analyze if Roth withdrawals make sense and at a specific point in time, is something that you need to ask to the person is helping you. If they're not giving answers to you, please come to us. We'll be able to see like if Roth withdrawals make sense in the point of life that you're going right now. A lot of clients that we see, a lot of prospects, a lot of people that have rental incomes, right? You heard it, a specific rental property, you bought it, and sometimes we see different type of situations. I want to keep holding this rental income. I want to keep holding this rental property because it's giving me this stream of income. Other ones is like, I'm tired. I don't want to deal with tenants, with toilets, with trash, right? I'm tired of it. I just want to sell this one and be able to move that asset to something else. Another situation that we saw is actually people planning that is like, yes, I have a house, I bought it for rental purposes, but now it's time to just give it away. So they plan that eventually they need to sell this house. So it's something that we come along with a lot of people. So there are solutions, there are options if you need to exchange your rental income in some way or you want to step out of it. Another one is the required minimum distribution. And that's a question a lot that we have, that we think that we have pre-tax money, IRA money, right? That we need to hold it for a period of time and keep holding it. And they say like, oh, I should use my Roth IRA. I should use my non-qualified or checking savings. But remember, and something that comes with also planning, right? If eventually you're saving or you're not touching your IRA money, guess what? Government eventually will say you need to take that out. And we want to maintain your expenses and your required minimum distribution amounts close. Why? Because we don't want that forced withdrawal, because you will pay taxes in some money that you probably don't need for your expenses. So that's something that you need to look into it, ask questions, and plan for it. We also have the bucket strategy, right? 4% rule, 4% rule every year, 4%, you add inflation. Remember, you need like a specific amount of assets to be able to do this 4% rule for you to cover your expenses. So I like to have this today because I have been telling a lot of clients, it's like, I would like you to know the concept of things. And an informed client makes informed decisions. So with this is now into retirement, there is a situation that you need to think about income. So that's part of the financial plan. So we would love to help you with that. And that was my topic today. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Will. Appreciate it. Going on a couple different topics, all of which are very important to everyone. As I said, the month of April kind of started out very, very bad. The tariff war started up, and then we had a little bit of recovery at the end, so that the accounts were fairly well flat through the month. It just didn't feel good when it went down, and it feels a lot better when the market goes up. So we look at things like that. And then the idea around it of it is when we get volatility like that, the thing that jumps in and probably hurts us the most are emotions. We'll make those emotional decisions to move away from the market when we probably shouldn't, and then when it's time to move back in, we're afraid that it's going to fall again. So that's what I love about Market Guard. Market Guard gives us that availability to let the non-emotional mathematical models determine when those things. When should I sell? When should I hold? And if I did sell, when should I buy back in? Takes that some emotions out of it. So we look at it in the investment world. We have got the availability to cover the whole spectrum. If you're an ultra-conservative investor, we've got things that can protect the principal. We've also have less aggressive portfolios. And if you're an aggressive investor, we've got those too: emerging technology, blockchain, which not a lot of people are invested in. And then I think Will had mentioned it, the MG, the Opportunity Fund that's going for growth, and the Op Dividend Fund. It's paying out, quote, dividends to help meet income requirements. So those are some of the things that I'm looking at to sit here and say, what's your interest and where do you want to go? We have the availability to cover almost all of those. But I think some of the big news over the last days have been Jerome Powell decided not to do anything with the Fed fund rates. It's mainly because of the fact that they're not sure exactly how the tariffs are going to affect the future market. Economists, they can have all kinds. It depends on which way you're looking. I think our biases will find them, that sit here and say, we're going to be in a recession, we're not going to have a recession. You can find information that's going to back you up either way on whatever you think is going to happen during that time frame. So then we look at one of the others, one of what we call the self-made billionaires in the investment world. Warren Buffett made this statement that he is going to step down from leading the reins of Berkshire Hathaway. And I just like to reflect back for those younger and those of us that have been around for a while. Warren Buffett basically based most of his investment philosophy during his lifetime over 3 basic rules. Understand your investments. If you don't know how that company is going to make money, it might not be a good investment for you. I heard a guy say at one time, if you can't draw what you're getting ready to buy with a crayon, you might not understand the investment. So the more complex the investment is and how they make money can make it a lot more difficult. So that was number 1, understand your investments. Start as early as possible. That is probably one of the things when we ask clients, different questions. One of the things that you regret or you wish you would have done differently was, I wish I would have started earlier. Yeah, that means that, if you're 20 to 21, 22 and just getting out of school, putting money aside. You know, you got that power of compound interest, and the more time that you have, the better it is. But that doesn't mean if you're 35, 40, or 50, you don't start then. Start as soon as you possibly can. The other thing that he looked at was in the area of finding promising smaller businesses. Most people, when you look at a 401k plan, what are they going to have? Large caps. They state that those are the least aggressive of the stocks. Mid caps is a little more aggressive. Small caps are the most aggressive. Those are the ones that have the greatest potential for future growth. So that was one of all the things that Warren Buffett used to look for times. He wanted those companies that were prior to and had the opportunity to do something big. And the other thing that I always remember from one of the things that I read on Warren Buffett was, it's not a get rich quick scheme. You know, if you think you're just going to buy it, it's going to turn around and it's going to double in 6 months, probably not going to happen. Or it's way too aggressive. Gains take time. The markets are volatile. And then when we talk to people, and if I talk to people around some of our more aggressive investments, be prepared for the stock to go down. There was a quote from Warren Buffett that basically said, you've got to be prepared when you buy a stock to have it go down by 50% or more and be comfortable with it. If you're not, it's probably not something that you should buy. That's not from Steve Aul, that's from Warren Buffett, self-made billionaire in the investment world. He also say best time to, quote, buy is when the markets are down, and he called it blood in the streets. The best time to, quote, get out of the market is when it's at those highs and everybody's trying to figure out when to jump in. So those are the things that I want to look at, is to sit here and say, in the investment world, we're losing an icon, Warren Buffett, but his ideas will go on forever. You know, they're going to go on forever, because that basic, simple philosophy is where investments are. And that's what I truly like about Market Guard, that we have the availability. Methodical, mathematical, non-emotional models that give us the opportunity to know when to hold, when to buy, and if we've sold, when to get back into the markets. Those are the most important things that as we look at it. So again, we always enjoy, friends and family. Referrals of friends and families, the best things that we can possibly do. So I'm going to share a few of the things that we do have coming up. We have our new clients and referral dinner. We try to do that 3 to 4 times a year. That is on Monday, May the 11th at Cooper's Hawk. So if you're brand new to us, we like to bring you in. Why do we bring in and why do we do this? Because you usually know the advisor that you've sat down and met with, but do you know the rest of the team? Do you know Stacy, the office manager, over all the operations? Shannon, who does a lot of the work. Most people know Christina, because she's that person that meets them at the door, but we want to make sure you know our entire staff. We do have a shred event coming up next Saturday, 9 a.m. to 12 o'clock. That is open. If you got neighbors and they need to get rid of stuff, please tell them about it. It's a drive up. You don't have to stop. You have to stop because we need to get it out of your car, but you don't have to get out of your car. We can take the stuff, put it in the shred box for you. We've been doing this for 4 or 5 years now, and the number of people that come to it just keeps increasing every single year. So please don't hesitate to tell people about it. And then we have another taxes and retirement dinner seminar. I know that we've done a lot of that over the year, but most of the calls and the things I get are about taxes. So Tuesday, May 20th and Thursday, the May 22nd, that's Cooper's Hawk in St. Peters. Cooper's Hawk in St. Peters. So if you've got anybody that you'd like to bring to that event, please give us a call You have to have a reservation. You need to call the office, but go ahead and give us a call and let's get together and talk about taxes. My view of taxes is a little bit different. In my earlier years, it was always, what can we do this year? Now I look at it to the part of saying, what is it going to cost me over a lifetime? With the lower tax rates that we currently have right now and the prospect of higher tax rates in the future, it might make sense to go ahead and take some of the advantages with the Roth conversions while we're at historically low taxes. Everybody complains, but they are still historically low. Give us a call. Again, I want to thank everybody. We're having a fantastic year again this year. Thank you for the referral of friends and family. You're the people that we like to do business with. And so if you can introduce this to people just like yourself, that's the greatest compliment that we can ever receive. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you at these events.